Hey.
Hey everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm a volunteer here at the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center, and this morning I'm hanging out with Raksha and Chakra. This here is Chakra. Raksha is the Arctic wolf that's hanging out over here. We'll see if he decides to join us today. And our wolf talk, or our wolf topic today, is going to be about the new ballot measure that has arisen for 2026. Unfortunately, it is an anti-wolf ballot measure that would basically undo what was done in Proposition 114 back in 2020. The goal that they have is to stop reintroducing wolves to Colorado. Now, unfortunately, the anti-wolf crowd, they have fought really hard to try and stop the wolf reintroduction on several fronts for several years now. Most recently, they had that petition that they had introduced to Colorado Parks and Wildlife, which thankfully did not pass because CPW did uphold the will of the voters, and they also made a lot of improvements to their wolf coexistence and management plan. Oh my goodness, thank you. So CPW, oh my gosh. So CPW is still looking to continue reintroducing wolves and uphold that Proposition 114, which we are really proud of them for doing. But unfortunately, what is now arising is something called Colorado Advocates for Smart Wolf Policy. Now, this is another attempt to misword a proposition in order to try and basically trick voters into voting for it. And unfortunately, what it would do, it would stop reintroducing wolves to Colorado. So this kind of tricky wording is also something that happened with Proposition 127. There was a crowd that wanted to continue the trophy hunting of mountain lions and bobcats here in Colorado, and then eventually try and trophy hunt lynx if they ever get delisted. And they decided that they were going to call themselves Wildlife Deserves Better. So the Wildlife Deserves Better was not named very correctly because basically they were still saying that we need to kill mountain lions and bobcats in the state of Colorado. So because of wording like this, it tricked a lot of people into voting against Proposition 127. So it did not pass. And essentially what this crowd is doing now is they're calling this the Colorado Advocates for Smart Wolf Policy. So it is trying to trick you into voting for this and stopping the wolf reintroduction. Now, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, they have, I just looked at it yesterday, their management plan is over 240 pages. It's full of sound science, and they worked really, really hard on it to try and make sure that we do get the sustainable population of wolves in Colorado. So if it makes it to the ballot, make sure that we do not vote for it, because we want Colorado Parks and Wildlife to continue reintroducing gray wolves into the state until we do have that self-sustaining viable population here in Colorado. So we'll definitely keep you up to date on this ballot measure. Right now, basically where it's at is that the wording has been approved, so they haven't started collecting signatures for it or anything like that yet. But we want to make sure that if it does happen to make it to the ballot, that is something that does not pass, because again, it is this really tricky wording that they're trying to use to trick advocates into voting for it, even though it is going to stop the wolf reintroduction. And a lot of this is saying that, oh, there's buyer's remorse, that people who voted for Proposition 114 regret doing it, which is not true. Again, it is just something that they are trying to spin so that people try and believe it. And it's not something that is true. There is no buyer's remorse. Colorado does support wolves. The vast majority of Coloradans do support having a healthy, viable wolf population in the state, because Colorado is still wild. We have lots and lots of public land, lots of places that can still sustain wolf habitat and can sustain wolves. So it's something that, again, we just want to make sure that you are well aware of and that you're not listening to all these negative things that are coming out from the anti-wolf crowd. Just a really quick update too, just so you all know, our Facebook page is still unfortunately hacked. We are still trying to recover it. We do still have that small backup page though, which is where you're probably going to be watching this if you're not watching it on YouTube. We also have signed up recently for Blue Sky. We are on the beta for Flashes, and then we are kind of active on X again, and then we also have our Instagram as well. So we'll see you soon. We'll see you next week.